Hello, good evening and welcome to Business Live. Coming up in this bulletin, President John Mahama announces plans to engage businesses twice a year while appealing to more enterprises to reduce prices to reflect current performance of the cedi.
I take the opportunity to commend those of you who have responded to the cedi's appreciation by reducing prices of your products and services and thereby passing some of the relief from the hardship to Ghanaians. For those of you who have not responded yet, please pass on some of the cedi appreciation to Ghanaians.
Also, this bulletin, Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Johnson Isiema rules out any target rate for cedi's appreciation, insisting current good run is supported by positive market sentiment fueled by robust monetary measures.
Much as we don't want it to be, depreciating excessively, we don't keep a target to which we expect it to get to.
Plus, government records an oversubscription of 17.8% in its most recent Treasury bills auction, marking a positive turnaround after 3 consecutive weeks of undersubscription. We have details of this and more coming your way all in a moment. Please stay on. Thanks so much for your time. I am Pius Kojobaka, and looking at our stories. President John Mahama has announced plans to engage businesses twice a year. The move is part of plans to ensure that there is an open-door policy to address all concerns that affect businesses in the country. President Mahama revealed this at the 9th CEO Summit here in Accra. More from James Eshen.
This reset will only succeed with the private sector at its core. We're restoring macroeconomic stability not as an end in itself, but as a platform for private investment. And in that regard, we will ensure policy predictability to enable medium and long-term planning for you. Access to credit and capital markets will not crowd you out. We'll borrow responsibly and restrain ourselves in government borrowing so that the rest of the credit is available for you to expand your businesses. Consultation with industry will occur before any major reforms are done. And finally, a fiscal environment that rewards value creation and not rent seeking. And so, like I said, you will not only be consulted in major government policy, you will be empowered to take advantage of it. We'll institutionalize a national business consultative platform to bring government and the private sector together biannually, twice a year, for policy feedback, reform monitoring, and joint priority setting.
Meanwhile, Chief Executive Officer of MTN Ghana, Stephen Blewett, says engagement to reduce data costs is ongoing with the Communication Ministry.
It's not like, do you remember the days we had 2G, just voice, or 3G, and then it becomes 4G, then it's 5G, then it'll be 6G, it's 5.5 now, and then it'll be 6. So it is an industry that's continually evolving. So if you're not investing, you'll fall behind. So we have to invest if we want to make sure that we have the network that people require from us, and that's the reason we're investing. So the interesting thing for MTN is we don't import that much. We trade in Ghana and cedis most of the time. But I think the good thing about a positive cedi shift is it shows a shift in the economy in the right direction. When the cedi shifts, the inflation drops, and then cost of living drops for everyone. Our commitment is to use the benefits of a more powerful cedi. It does give me one key benefit. It allows me to invest more in the network. I think with data, we're going to consistently look, I'm chatting to the Minister about that, about what we can do to be more efficient with our data offerings. Now, when it comes to data, there are some intrinsic costs that we have, we can do nothing about. They're built into the thing. But we will always look and say, how can we do more? And we did that recently, as you know. We did it on 2 of the public holidays recently, where we gave more value. So those are the kind of things we'll look at.
I want to stay a while longer at the CEO Summit because the Chief Executive for the Margins Group, Moses Baiden, has called for a strong private partnership with Ghanaian companies to deliver efficient public sector service.
It is defined by the convergence of technologies, artificial intelligence, big data, the Internet of Things, cloud computing, blockchain, and quantum computing, all connected together through the internet. These interconnected systems are leveraged by one vital asset: accurate, secure, and trusted data. The speed and scale of this transformation is unprecedented. Businesses that once took decades to scale now expand globally quickly. Public services that once required buildings, staff, and paperwork are now delivered through mobile and digital devices on portals. We are entering the age of the thinking machines that learn, analyze, and make decisions independently. The more accurate the data these systems are trained on, the more efficient and effective they become. With quantum computing and AI accelerating at exponential rates, problems that would take human experts centuries to solve are now resolved in minutes. And this intelligence feeds on one critical input: trusted digital identities connected to data.
And we bring you a comprehensive report of the 9th CEO Summit from James Eshen.
Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Esiama, at the 9th Ghana CEO Summit has been speaking with respect to inflation. He's been saying government and also the central bank intends to work assiduously to address challenges affecting inflation. He's also been cautioning Ghanaians to transact business in Cedi and not any other foreign currency.
But let me emphasize that the Cedi, our Cedi, remains the only legal tender in Ghana. And I put that in capital letters. The Cedi is the only legal tender in Ghana. And as businesses, we must ensure that transactions going forward are conducted in our local currency.
President John Mahama has also been speaking at the Ghana CEO Summit, and he's also been speaking with respect to building reserves that could withstand other global shocks or future unforeseen circumstances. He's also been talking about some 8 key pillars to reset Ghana's economy. He's been talking about government ensuring some fiscal discipline and also making sure that government resolves some of the challenges affecting Ghana's economy.
Let me take the opportunity to commend those of you who have responded to the Cedi's appreciation by reducing prices of your products and services, and thereby passing some of the relief from the hardship to Ghanaians. For those of you who have not responded yet, please pass on some of the Cedi appreciation to Ghanaians. The time has come for us to lift the gloom, to restore confidence, and to build again. And as I said in my inauguration, Ghana is open for business again. Let this summit mark the beginning of a new compact between the public and private sectors, a compact of mutual accountability, shared risks, and shared rewards.
President John Mahama announced plans to engage businesses twice a year. The move is part of plans to ensure that there is an open door policy to address concerns that affect businesses in the country. He also appealed to more businesses to respond to the Cedi's sharp appreciation against the dollar by reducing their prices.
This reset will only succeed with the private sector at its core. We're restoring macroeconomic stability not as an end in itself, but as a platform for private investment. And in that regard, we will ensure policy predictability to enable medium and long-term planning for you. Access to credit and capital markets will not crowd you out. We'll borrow responsibly and restrain ourselves in government borrowing so that the rest of the credit is available for you to expand your businesses. Consultation with industry will occur before any major reforms are done. And finally, a fiscal environment that rewards value creation and not rent seeking. And so, like I said, you will not only be consulted in major government policy, you will be empowered to take advantage of it. will institutionalize a national business consultative platform to bring government and the private sector together biannually, twice a year, for policy feedback, reform monitoring, and joint priority setting.
He also said his government will be prudent with expenditure while looking at options to reopen the bond market.
And international capital markets. We're working to reopen Ghana's bond market in collaboration with the IMF and our development partners, the Ghana Stock Exchange, and local banks. However, future borrowing will be linked to self-financing commercially viable projects, particularly by MDAs, MMDAs, and SOEs, ensuring value for money and sustainable repayment. We'll amend the Public Financial Management Act and Constitution to make contributions to the sinking and stabilization funds.
The 9th Ghana CEO Summit saw some key dignitaries coming from different sectors of Ghana's economy. And this year's summit was on the theme Leading Ghana's Economic Research, Transforming Business and Governance for a Sustainable Futuristic Economy, a private-public sector CEO dialogue, and high-impact learning. For Joy Business, James Ishen.
Away from the CEO Summit, the Bank of Ghana Governor, Dr. Johnson Isiama, has ruled out any target rate for the cedi's sharp appreciation against all major trading currencies. The Ghana Governor gave this assurance at the Monetary Policy Committee press conference in Accra.
Answering questions from journalists at the press conference, the Bank of Ghana Governor, Dr. Johnson Isiama, noted that it might be counterproductive to set any rate because the current sharp appreciation is also driven by positive market sentiments.
We think that where we are now, we don't have that problem of real appreciation that will impact adversely on our competitiveness. And so for now, we think that the trend is in line. We are observing it continuously though, but the appreciation is largely driven by the market.
This is what the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Isiama, had to say when he was asked about the sustainability of the city's good run.
It's desirable that you have a minimum 3 months of imports cover at all times. Currently, we are way above that. Is it excessive? Not at the moment. What we have now is just adequate. It's more than adequate. It's just, at levels that we are comfortable with. It ensures our external resilience. It ensures that even if in the future we have any shocks confronting the country, we are able to act. We will have the necessary tools to protect the economy.
Ghana's international reserves ending April 2025 is pegged at $10.6 billion. But the governor of the Bank of Ghana says they don't have any target for a reserve build-up.
No, we don't have a target. And I just explained it. I explained it that the Cedi is an endogenous variable, right? And as much as we don't want it to be, depreciating excessively, we don't keep a target to which we expect it to get to. We are aware of speculations out there. People are mentioning all manner of figures. But you see that you haven't heard any such target that is communicated by the central bank. No. All we can say is we will ensure that volatilities are not excessive.
There has been serious push for prices on the market to reflect the current performance of the Ghana cedi following several delays by some traders.
Some people stock their goods at a higher exchange rate. And so naturally, even with the appreciation, it takes a while, for you to see that adjustment. However, rest assured, you will see the adjustment certainly.
The Bank of Ghana Governor, Dr. Johnson Isiama, assured that the central bank is currently monitoring developments on the market and it would act decisively to ensure that external development doesn't derail the current recovery.
This evening, government has recorded an oversubscription of 17.8% in its most recent Treasury bills auction, marking a positive turnaround after 3 consecutive weeks of undersubscription. This renewed investor interest comes amid a sharp decline in interest rates across the yield curve. More in this report.
The Treasury received 6.5 billion Ghana cedis of the total bids versus a target of 5.54 billion cedis. It, however, accepted 5.97 billion Ghana cedis. About 4.95 billion Ghana cedis came from the 91-day bill, representing 75.82% of the total bids. The uptake was 4.58 billion Ghana cedis. For the 182-day bill, 890.81 million Ghana cedis were tendered. All the bids were accepted. About 689 million Ghana cedis were also tendered for the 364-day bill. The uptake was 499.76 million Ghana cedis. Meanwhile, interest rates fell sharply on the yield curve. The yield on the 91-day bill declined marginally by 18 basis points to 14.92%. That of the 182-day bill also went down to 15.55% from 15.68% the previous week. The interest on the 364-day bill also went down by a whopping 78 basis points to 16%.
Remember, you're still watching Business Live. We have more for you after this break. Welcome back to Business Live. The Chamber of Commerce and Industry France Ghana has renewed calls for government to reconsider its regulatory framework in order to attract more French companies into the country. Managing Director of the Chamber, Maxine Reindorf-Party, in an interview with Joy Business, warns stakeholders to join the call in making the business climate a more friendly one. She has also been highlighting the importance of the upcoming Chamber of Commerce and Industry France Ghana Gala Dinner in Accra.
Chambers of commerce are, I would say, the drivers of foreign direct investment into the country. So our role is to serve as an intermediary and also to serve as advocates for companies in the private sector. So of course, when we are looking at the GIPC Amendment Bill of 2023, this was one of the election promises of His Excellency President John Mahama in 2024. And of course, we're getting a very positive outlook. So of course, the Chambers of Commerce, specifically CCI France Ghana, we are on standby for the rollout and eventual passing of this bill, eventual revision of this bill. Mainly because it would, I would say, improve the overall attractivity of Ghana as an investment destination.
So what has been the track record over the period before you making this call?
I would say in 2023, FDI flows, French foreign direct investment inflows into Ghana, FDI stock was an estimated 2.5 billion euros, according to the Bank of France. And of course, this was due to French reinvestments from French companies who are already based in Ghana. Of course, due to the state of the economy at the time in 2023, we saw a downward, I would say, trend in terms of French investors coming into the country. Of course, FDI stock in general dropped down from 2% from 2022 to 2023. Of course, with the new administration, I would say investor confidence has improved. And of course, investors are looking forward to setting up on the Ghanaian market. So of course, we want to drive this forward. There is also the question of local content regulation. So local content regulation pertaining specifically to the energy, oil and gas and petroleum sectors, mining sectors as well. I would say as of January 7th, a new list came out, which has made it even more stringent and has made it increasingly difficult for companies to operate, foreign companies to operate within these sectors. So of course, these are the areas that we are respectfully calling on government upon to review to ease doing business in Ghana for French foreign.
And to that end, you intend organizing a gala. Tell me about it.
So of course, one of the ways that CCI France Ghana engages our members is through networking. So networking events, we are famous for our networking cocktails, conferences and forums. But of course, we have our CCI annual gala dinner and awards night. This is the 7th edition. It's taking place on Thursday, 29th May, 6 p.m. at the Alden Ballroom of Kempinski Hotel. And of course, this is our annual black tie seated dinner. So it's our most formal event out of our annual calendar.
Away from that, the Ghana Maritime Authority has warned that it will apply full rigor of the law against anyone or group flouting regulations on salvaging shipwrecks within the country's waters. Now, this comes after the authority, through intelligence, impounded some salvaged wreckage. Now, Director General of the Ghana Maritime Authority, Dr. Kamaldeen Ali, disclosed this in an interview with my colleague Kwame Yanka.
A number of factors account for marine accidents, from human error to conditions at sea. This could cause a ship to sink to the bottom of the ocean. In Ghana, marine salvage cannot take place without prior approval from the Maritime Authority due to its impact on the ecosystem. Shipwreck may be considered waste in some instances, but has value out there. Director General of Ghana Maritime Authority, Dr. Kamaldeen Ali, revealed that a practice which has gone unnoticed in the past will not be countenanced under his administration.
A shipwreck could be a source of hazard, and for that matter, it might be necessary to remove it. But certain times, they are also a source of ecosystem preservation. When they exist anywhere they exist, they tend to promote the growth of fisheries and other living organisms at sea. So there are pros and cons of shipwrecks being at sea. And that is why it is an area that must be well regulated, or any other thing that is in the bottom of the sea must be regulated. In this particular instance, the people who have removed these shipwrecks have done that without the authorization of the Ghana Maritime Authority. And having had information that such a thing has been going on, and perhaps going on for a number of years, our team conducted surveillance and intelligence-led activities, and then they were able to intercept these rigs that are removed.
Meanwhile, Prince Ibrahim of Yusuf Star Scrap Management is unaware of any regulation that bars individuals from salvaging wreckage without authorization.
Yeah, but when this issue come, they call me for me to help them. Then we started this issue.
I wouldn't ask you how much you were expecting the value of this.
They've spent a lot of money on this. They've already spent 200,000 already. So, you see, the one standing over here, when I give you the ton of this one, it's not up to 15 ton.
It's not up to 15 ton, okay.
It's not up to. Even the one at the back, let's say, the weight maybe, let's say, 17 to 16. You see the metal or everything rust. You're not going to get it maybe as...
They are not going to go full metal out of it.
And now also, they are now going to wash all the rubbish before the company can even take it from them. Okay. So before you can buy the ship, you have to multiply what you are going to spend, the oxygen, the LPG, your labor. When you move that thing out, maybe you can get copper price. You can also make a little money. But when you just go into scrap, forget, you will not get nothing.
Ghana Maritime Authority is considering the option of harnessing the skill set and experience of divers involved in the salvage.
From the Tema ports, this has been Kwame Yanka for Joy Business.
And that's our bulletin. I am Pius Kojo Baka. For more stories, do log on to myjoyonline.com/business. Always a delight serving you.